Well, guys, we are here with Jake and Christina, and we wanted to spend some time just interviewing you guys and talking about the last year, because you guys are getting ready to move to Idaho, and we'll ask more about all of that, why you guys are leaving us, and we'll hear some more about that in just a second. But yeah, we wanted to just take a few minutes and just let you guys know that we have loved being with you, and then give you a chance to kind of tell us the things that you've learned about yourself over the last year. And I think it'll be awesome. So here comes Cyrus. He's going to run right through the shot. We'll leave that in.
Can we keep that in?
Yeah, totally.
What's funny is it may not have caught him.
Yeah, true.
It's just us.
He's just really. Tell us, where you guys are moving. Where are you guys moving to?
Well, we're moving on July 10th to Meridian, Idaho. I start medical school at the Idaho College of Osteopathic Medicine in the end of July.
Yeah.
And we get married next week.
Next Friday.
Yeah, on June 19th. So
crazy. That's awesome.
She's coming with me.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So you're in medical school, or will be.
Mm-hmm.
And how long will that be?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years of school, and then I'll have to apply again to residencies.
Yeah.
Most likely try to come back to Washington for that, but we'll see how it goes.
Very cool. What's been some of the more surprising things about this year for you guys?
I think I could speak on two different things, like one sojourn-wise and one missio-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so speaking from sojourn-wise, like when Daniel first brought up asking me to join the apprenticeship and join Sojourn, like my initial reaction was just like, heck, like no. Like I just didn't ever see myself as someone that would do that, or that could do that even. Like I was just always a consumer of Christianity, and not really like I didn't think it was my role to ever be a part of trying to lead people or trying to like take a position within the church or something like that. Mm-hmm. So my gut reaction was just like, nah, that's not me. Like I don't think Daniel knows me as well as maybe he thinks he does. And so, but then I didn't like tell him no right away. I was like, I'll pray on it and see. And I just got more convinced and more convicted as I prayed on it. Like this is what I should be doing in this year off. Like there's a reason I have a year off, because I've applied to medical school 2 different times and didn't get in. And so it was always confusing, like, why I wasn't getting in, like, what's taking so long. And so this was one of the things that made me, like, confident of, like, okay, there's a reason why I didn't start school this year. There's a reason, and it's to do something like this. And so I went for it. I was terrified. It was like, well, I remember the Bible, or not the Bible study, but the book studies we did at your house over the summer. Yeah. Just every week just being petrified and just being like, I do not fit in here. I was like so nervous every week to share my thoughts, because I felt like they just didn't matter compared to all you guys and everything like that. And just seeing how that's changed over the year has been the biggest surprise and like blessing for me, because I think I told Daniel and Holly this in our staff meeting, but I feel like at the beginning it felt like I was a student at the meeting with professors, and now I feel like I'm a TA at the meeting. so
that's growth right there.
No, exactly. No, for real. And I just think like I felt more confident in being able to like lead discipleship groups, lead Bible studies, and just having the skill set to maybe take a leadership role somewhere in the future. Whereas as before, I just had none of those feelings. I just was always, I'm okay with believing what I believe in, but I'll just be there and like soak it in. I don't need to be the person that leads it in a way.
Right.
And I think those like capabilities and skills have been the biggest surprise that have developed with me over the last year.
Yeah,
and then missio-wise, like I grew up in mega church kind of style. Like my church in Visalia has probably, 1,500 people each week. And then when I came to Seattle, I went to City Church, which is church home now.
Right.
And that's a huge church. So I always had just this like consumer vibe with that too, where it was a huge church. It was like the atmosphere was kind of like what enticed me, and worship being all huge, and I liked that. But I never knew anybody in the church. It was like I would go, and then I would just go home after. I didn't talk to anybody, and so like being in Missio, it's the first like smaller community vibe that I've ever had for church, and it changed how I felt about going on Sundays like completely, because the parts that I love being able to like know the people at the church now. Like I love like knowing who the pastor is. Like I could talk to you like I'm your friend, you know. Whereas like before, like Judah Smith, I'm not going to talk to him because I don't know him. And I just think that vibe has been awesome for me and has taught me, especially what I'm looking forward to when we move. Like what kind of church style I'll look for. Because I didn't really ever have a expectation of what to look for in a church, or I was just always like, I'll go to the big church that, you know what I mean? And so this has kind of changed the way I look at how I'm going to feel about the different churches we go to and what we decide on, like the factors we use to decide on what church we'll stay at when we're there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I remember in college I was in the fellowship with Jake, and I remember that being a very like intimate community, and I always missed that. And after I graduated, the church I used to go to, it was also a big church, and like I didn't really know anyone. I mean, I loved the worship and everything, but like I didn't feel that sense of community. Like coming to Missio, I just really love that we get to just talk about anything and get to know like the pastor, and like other people too, and
What are some things, Daniel, that you've seen them growing in this year? Have you seen that?
Well, it's been cool because Jake and I met by me knocking on his door one day, which is weird in any context, but probably in an apartment in Seattle is probably the weirdest thing you can do. So it was awesome to see that, how like that over a couple of years, to see where our relationship has gone through that. And I mean, even getting to know you that first year was amazing, but then you coming back and joining Sojourn has been just really incredible, because I've seen how Jake has really grown in his confidence as a leader, as a spiritual man, as a follower of Jesus. I think that's amazing, because I really I respect people who have the right character. That's what I saw in Jake, was Jake had the right character, and I believe if you have the right character, then if God calls you to something, he can grow you into whatever he wants you to be. And there's a long history of reluctant leaders, and that's important, and so it's been amazing to see how you've grown into that, and I really respect you for that. And you've really blessed me, blessed Holly, blessed, just Sojourn and Missio as a whole. It's been really amazing getting to work with you, Jake. And yeah, not worried about it.
It is what it is.
Fair enough. And Christina, it's been amazing to have you here too. It's been so fun to have you be a part of what you could be in Sojourn with the Missio community. You've been taking over our social media, which has been amazing. So Lord knows I should not be doing that. So when you do it, you're very gifted at it, and that's amazing.
Very true.
And I've just loved getting to hear your like, especially in the Missio community and things like that, your insight into who God is and the spiritual journey that you're on. I've just really appreciated that. And for Holly and I getting to do premarital with you guys, that's been just a real joy from this year. That's been just amazing to get to know you guys and in that sphere too. That's been a real blessing. So very thankful for you guys.
Yeah. And on that note, you guys are getting married in like what, 10 days? 9 days?
Oh, we're counting down.
5 days. So what are you guys most looking forward to about being married?
I mean, we've done long distance for like 15 months, and then
Yeah.
even now we don't live together, so like having to commute has been kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always just like the whole time we've dated and been together, it's always such
Yeah.
a commitment and plan just to like hang
Hang
out.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like we have to like schedule certain days we'll see each other. We have to plan out this big like, okay, we'll see each other Wednesday, Sunday, like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So like having that taken away and just being
Yeah.
able to spend time with each other just because we're with each other now
Yeah.
is going to be a huge blessing, and
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
really excited for that.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we were just talking about this in the car that I'm looking forward to is like that identity change from me feeling like I'm just Jake, that's like my parents' son, into I'm Christina's husband and like it's our family. That identity shift is something that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we want to pray over just several things for you guys, and we like to give away journals to you guys as you begin new parts of your journey. Jake, this is for you.
Ooh, these are-
It's for you. And the point of these is to say, you know, this is really the beginning of so much of your journey, both your journey together, your journey in your careers, your journey in a place that you haven't lived yet. You know, right now is not, it's not the end of our relationship with you or your time in Seattle. It's the beginning of your future, of which we are a part of, even though we won't be physically near. We are a part of that with you. And what you want you to do with those is just fill it with the things about your story that that you can look back on years from now, and it'll remind you of these moments. And you'll be able to look back and go, man, you remember when we moved to a place that we didn't know anybody, and no things that we felt fear or anxiety, but we felt excitement and all these things, you know, and you can look back and you can go, man, I was praying some really hard and rough prayers during this time, and then write about the things that you see God doing in these moments, as He speaks to you, as He shows you the things that He wants you to know. Write those down, because journals are things that you can go back and they remind you of your story with God. So fill those up. That's what we want you to do, is fill those up with your story with the Lord. And I think it's going to be something that you'll look back on and it'll be really, really great.
Well, so Jake, you've decided that you want to be baptized next week, and we're really excited about that. Very thankful for that. And I was wondering if you could describe what that means to you a little bit, and Christina, if you want to say something about it too, that'd be amazing as well. So
Yeah, I mean, getting baptized has always been something that has been like a difficult subject for me, because there's been several points that I've really wanted to, but there was always something that like felt like it was holding me back for some reason. And as like time went on, it like got harder. Like I always thought that it'd be like, oh, I'd find the right moment and like it'll finally happen, and like I just need it to be the right time. And like that thought pushed me like further and further from doing it, and that made it harder and harder to do it. So like at the different points of me wanting to get baptized, something always would happen that I didn't do it then, and then something like, so like in high school, I definitely wanted to do it, but then there'd be a time when I feel like my faith would fall away a little bit, or I just wasn't in the right like spiritual space to do it. And so I just always pushed it off in high school, or I would just be like nervous about doing it or something like that. And then when I came to UW and like really feel like I committed myself to Christ and to following Jesus and being a disciple, like I always wanted my mom to be there, because she's the person that's like, my mom and dad, but my mom has always been the one that's like encouraged me, like, you need to get baptized, you should get baptized, and like asked me all the time, like, okay, we're doing baptisms this week in church, like, are you gonna? I'd always have a reason to say no, but like I did know when I wanted it to happen, I wanted her to be there. And so being up here, I couldn't ever do it here because I wanted her to be there. That was technically that was my excuse, really. Like I could have done it, but my excuse was I wanted her to be there. And then I wouldn't ever be home at the right time to do it at my own church. So that like pushed it all the way through UW of never doing it. And then when I moved back and we did the long distance, it switched to I'd want Christina there.
Yeah.
So like there was always these like I need these certain people there. I don't know like when to do it. And so I just have felt like, especially in this last year with being in Sojourn and at Missio, just like the spiritual growth I've made, and like knowing that marriage is coming up, all these huge life events are coming up. Like I just feel like it's enough of it has to be perfect. I want to do it.
Yeah.
And so I've reached that point of like I want to do it. And so since next week, my parents are flying in for the wedding and Christina will be here. Like I just didn't think of a more perfect time to do it next week.
Yeah.
And so Christina got baptized in Green Lake, and that was like the first time I really met her. We didn't really know each other. We were both in InterVarsity.
Yeah.
And I went to the baptism week, and she was one of the people getting baptized, and I didn't even know who she was. And so I just thought it would be really special for us if I got baptized in the exact same spot she did.
Nice.
So I think that's what we're going to do it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just really grateful that, because I didn't even think about that, because I mean, like wedding planning and everything is going on, like so many things you have to cancel and switch around. I wasn't even thinking about getting baptized, but just hearing how committed Jake is to that, and it just makes me feel good that like I feel like God is with us, and this is God leading us into marriage and our new chapter. So yeah, I'm thankful.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you guys because, I mean, that's one of the powers of baptism is it's like that ritual that you can look back on and say that was a huge spiritual moment, and what a big time, in you guys' life of all the things coming up, and so just excited about that. Excited how that's gonna. I just trust that that's gonna bring you guys together and really. That and your wedding and so many other things are just gonna like propel you into the future. So
that was what made me the most excited too about doing it next week. It's just like what an awesome week that is for me to look back on. I got baptized and married in the same week. It's just like I think that's always gonna be like you said in the journal, like that fundamental thing to look back on. Like what an incredible week that was. Yeah. So that gets me pretty pumped about it all.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice.
So, do you want to just pray over them and all those things?
Yeah, for sure. Father, we just thank you first just for the blessing that it's been to know and be friends with Christina and Jake, and just the blessing that they've been to Missio, the blessing that they've been to Sojourn, the blessing that they've been to the city, and God, we just love them, and we pray for their future in Idaho, that you would provide them with the spiritual community that they need and desire, the friends that they need and desire. And I just pray that their marriage would be such a blessing, that it would be just an amazing reflection of the love that you have for us, the love that they have for each other, and that it would just be just so powerful for them individually, and that they would together be even more of a blessing to the people around them than they could be as individuals. And God, we just pray that you would protect them from anxiety, protect them from anything that will get in their way during this transition. And God, will you just provide them with all of the support that they need. And God, we love you. We thank you for Jake and Christina and their time here, and are looking so forward to what they're doing in the future. God, will you walk with them at every point? Well, we love you, and it's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen.